DIY EOS. Okay, so these are the ingredients.
So what you're gonna need for this is some organic beeswax. It doesn't necessarily need to be organic. You can also use some beeswax candles. I sort of ran out of those, so I had to buy this. You can use coconut oil, or you need coconut oil. Or instead of coconut oil, you can use any oil. For example, this organic extra virgin oil. Or olive oil, like vegetable oil, anything. And you're also going to need a knife, maybe 2 spoons. And you're going to need this and a heat-proof pot. Like container, and then a pot on the stove. Alright, so...
Okay, so these, ingredients are optional. The shea butter, you can make it without the shea butter, but since EOS actually contains the shea butter, we thought just make it really, really close to the EOS to definitely just use the shea butter. And if you want, you can just keep it like without a flavor, but we got some pure peppermint extract, and we also have some pure vanilla extract just to add a little bit of flavor. And you can use Easter eggs, you can use EOS, just containers. These are empty. What we did is we just popped the lid, put them in the, we just like rinsed them out. We popped the seal. We'll show you how to pop the seal later. And yeah. You can use an empty container. I think you might be able to use a chapstick container. Depends, And then this is also optional if you want to use like an egg carton, so that when you put your EOS into the refrigerator, that it does not like move a lot. Like it just stays still and it's not spilling. I mean, this is used so you can see like the old EOS. We had to test out the recipe before we actually showed it. And you can use food coloring for color. Okay, so the first step you want to do is just take this, and as you can see the seal right there, I actually have it already popped, this one, but so you can see the seal a little more. And you can try taking it out yourself, but it's actually really hard. I recommend using the knife. You can see I'm just like jabbing that in there, popping it out. And see, I didn't even mess up the container. It's really, really simple. And then what you want to do is you want to take the top lid. You're going to screw it in here. This is actually kind of hard because the EOS are like pretty greasy. So.
Alright, so the first step you're going to do is just get your beeswax. And fill a 1/3 cup, a 1/4 actually, with just beeswax. See, like this. You can do a little less if you want, if you think it's too much. And if you're doing any different container, you might want to like make your measurements smaller. For example, I made these containers in here. These are brand new containers, and I made them in there. Same recipe and everything. So, yeah. And then what you're gonna want to do next is get your coconut oil or oil. Fill as much up as you feel like. This is when you need the spoon because my measuring cup does not fit in here. So I'm gonna fill it this much because I think that's a pretty reasonable amount, because you're gonna fit it in here. So you don't want to add too much. So next you're gonna get your shea butter, and you sort of have it picked out. I'm not putting too much shea butter because you already have the beeswax and the coconut oil, which are the mains. Okay. So then I'm gonna put a bit of my peppermint extract.
Actually, is that one going to be mine?
I'll just do it. Okay, so...
That one can be mine. Okay. Oh no, I want to pour this stuff for mine.
Okay. So, yeah. This is how it's going to look while it's not on the pot yet.
Yep. Okay, so you would have the stove at like a I'm gonna say a light boil. Not You're gonna want the stove at a light boil.
Yeah, 5 or 6, maybe even 7, depends.
Maybe even 7, depending.
How high you put yours or how many how
As you
big
can
your-
see, it's not really like the water hasn't gotten any bubbles yet, so we're just gonna leave that. And I think about 2-3 minutes, we're gonna come back and we're gonna stir it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm stirring this. It's getting pretty hot. Like the bubbles are going crazy. Super crazy.
When
So
you
we're
might
gonna,
want to consider like turning it to 4.
yeah, turning it just a bit lower since.
Yeah, and so we're just gonna let it sit for a while, a long while. And the bubbles need to be going crazy for this to work, sort of. Not like you're putting it in, so like the heat, because it goes. If you can see the water. Right, so yeah, we're gonna do it for a while.
Okay, so I'm just gonna continue stirring this a little, just a little longer, but I'm actually gonna let it sit. Once the water is completely drained,
From
you
the
probably
bottom
would have filled it up like 1/4. So yeah, it's like I think that like it went halfway down. And anyways, I'm gonna turn up the heat a little just so that this process can go a bit faster. Just so it can go just a tiny bit faster. And I'm gonna, and all the bubbles are starting to rise again. So we're gonna let that be. And we'll be back and show you what, the finished liquid part is.
Alright, so once it has become a liquid, it's like,
This took about
10 minutes?
20 minutes.
10 to 20 minutes, yes.
Yeah. Because the beeswax take a long time.
Actually, the water didn't all drain, but I know it's ready. So once it's ready, just so it doesn't dry off, I left it at low on the here.
I mean, as you can see, like the water is almost gone. It doesn't even fill up the entire base of the pot yet.
Yeah. So then you are going to get, this is very hot, so you are going to get, if you have like gloves or something.
Paper towels work.
Paper towels work, yeah. So, yeah, and this is where you're going to get this thing, your carton egg thingy, and you're going to get your EOS container. Only the part that has the thingy.
Yeah, only the part that has like the little flower type thingy that we attach to the top lid, because that's how you're gonna get a really, really good shape. Very careful.
This is sort of different from other videos because I think this is actually the way that they make it on EOS. Something like this. Something really
You may want to let it cool down a little because this is plastic, so
Yeah.
you don't want it to be like.
Yeah, but you don't want this to turn completely solid already. So what I'm gonna do is just pour. And you want to be very careful in this step.
Yeah, very, very careful.
Okay, plus it's hot and it might tilt in the carton. But honestly, I still recommend it.
Okay, so that
That's
should be just bad enough. And if you want, you can go back like with a paper towel and
if
clean
you
it
want
out.
Extra, I recommend like having this little extra carton thing. I use this thing. It's like where I put my extra like lip balm that I've made in the past few weeks. I'm just gonna add it to this. Oh shoot. So I'm gonna need to get a new one now, huh?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna go back and clean this up because it is gonna mold and then it might not be able to close. So
But
I'll be
you're gonna
back.
have to clean it anyways after.
Yeah. So bye.
When you get
Okay,
this,
as you can see, I put the EOS right there. And, you know, I'm very gently putting this into the freezer. It actually starts molding really quick. So, be very careful when it comes to this. Because if you're not, then, you know, it's going to spread everywhere. And you are going to be surprised at how fast it molds. I thought it was going to mold slower. Okay, so you want to keep it in there for about 30 minutes? An hour to... And while that's happening, we're going to take a nice little break.
Niña, no confundan los pedazos nuevos con los pedazos viejos.
Okay, so we took it out of the refrigerator, and I'm just going to, like, it's grease on it, so I'm just going to, you know. And here's the moment of truth. Da, da,
you don't
da,
take it out
da.
from there.
You do?
No, you don't.
Da, da.
Screw it back in, Sophie. You're doing it wrong. Put it back in now.
Why?
Because I'll show you. Alright.
Okay, so,
This is how
yeah,
you
saw,
put it back on.
This is how you put it back on. You just
you
try matching
You
this up.
find that.
Find
Like
where
the
they
two
match.
fingerprints, and then you like smush it together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this one's locked in.
No.
No, and then I'm just going to apply this one on.
So you see those two things. You don't screw it. You like.
You just, like, pop it in.
Right, there we go. Right, see?
And then da 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 da. Kind of cold, but
Well, because it just came out of the freezer from an hour.
yeah. But this is awesome. It totally looks realistic. Like, honestly, that looks like a real EOS. It's just not as green as like it would have normally been, but great.
Yeah.